Good morning, I am Pragyan Sharma and I will be explaining you about the program control input output interfaces. So, here the agenda: transfer modes, introduction, program input output mode, data transfer, commands, instructions, difference between the DMA transfer and input output program control transfer, advantages and disadvantages. Let's see the transfer modes. The CPU executes instructions and accepts data temporarily, but source destination will be in memory unit. There are various modes in which data transfer could take place between CPU and IO devices. Data transfer to and from peripherals can be handled in one these modes: program input output. The processor program controls the complete data transfer, so only when an input output transfer instructions is executed the transfer could take place. It is required to check that device is ready or not for data transfer. In most cases, usually the transfer data is to from a CPU register peripheral. Here, the CPU executes. Constantly monitors the peripherals here until the input output unit indicates that it is ready for transfer. The CPU waits and stays in a loop. It's time consuming and CPU busy needs. Now, the interrupt driven input output. To overcome the disadvantage of programmed input output keeping CPU busy needlessly, it is used. Here, when peripheral sends an interrupt signal to CPU whenever it is ready to transfer data, this indicates that data transfer initiated to external device. DMA transfer is used for large data transfer. Here, a memory bus is used to interface data transfer in and out of memory unit. The CPU provides a starting address and number of types to be transferred to the interface to initiate transfer. After that, it proceeds to execute other tasks. DMA requests a memory cycle through the memory bus. When the transfer is made, DMA transfers the memory data directly into the memory when request is granted by memory controller. Now, about the program input output technique other than input driven DMA, most simple type of input technique for exchange of data and types of communication between the processor and external devices. Here data are exchanged between the processor and input output module. Executes a program that gives a directly control of input operation, including sensing device data status, sending a read write command, transferring the data when the processor issues command input output. The processor is executing a program and encounters instruction relating to input operation, then executes the instructions by using a command to appropriate module. The module will perform request action based on the command issued by processor and set appropriate bits in the input output status register. It's about data transfer techniques. Each input is ready after first testing whether it is ready with input. The program waits for a ready status. Program is in busy state only after the device gets ready. Each input returned after first testing whether device is ready to accept byte. Program waits for ready status. Commands control test read and write. You can pause and see instructions. With memory mapped input output, there is a signal address bus, single address bus, and there are isolated bus may be equipped with memory address read and write, and there are the memory location difference between the input output program control transfer and DMA transfer. It is software, it is hardware, it is slow, it is fast, it is involved CPU, it is not involved CPU. There is DMA control requirement, there is no requirement of hardware. It is for smaller, it is for larger data transfer. Advantages: this technique is straightforward, can be used at a place where there is a performance requirements. These devices are too fast. This technique ties up CPU for long period of time with no useful work, keeps CPU busy waiting as we've seen due to time needed to poll.